What's up everyone? This is the 1987 K5 Blazer that we're building. We're taking all the leaf springs off, we're putting coilovers on the front end. We have the nice coilover front end that was done by Robert's Custom Fab. Everything you need. It's got all the heims, all the pivot brackets, and it's gonna be a real badass. What we ended up doing first was pulling the cage back, making sure everything was welded 360. We're in the process of painting it all because there was a lot of spots that were missing that were starting to rust. We ended up taking the whole front end apart, removing all the shock mounts. We ended up cleaning up the frames. We're putting on the new frame overlays that are gonna strengthen up the frame as well as look good. And then we're gonna be tacking on the shock mounts for the new coilovers. We ended up taking out the stock dash because that thing was weeded. There wasn't much that was working on it. And we ended up getting a new digital dash. You can see we had to pull the cage back in order to pull it out because it was super tight in there, which we like tight fits, but you know, that gave us an opportunity to weld everything 360 and finish the paint. So once we get that dash back in, we're gonna tape it off and we're gonna end up painting the rest of this and getting the cage back in 100%.
You want to take a couple swings, Tim?
No. Yeah, Tim's just gonna pull him out with his fingers. Perfect.
How? You gotta hold that thing up like a fucking trophy after that fight.
Yeah, the bush. Yeah. All right. Yeah, pretty much just all bare metal, all the way up the inner C, and then the axle tube all the way around, pretty much.
Making it happen over here. My dude's a magician. Magic fucking hands.
Alright, so we're taking a quick second going over the frame plate for the new steering box, the other frame plate, so that we can get the new shock mounts on. We got the axle pretty much stripped down so that we can get it on here with the new radius arm mounts and the new pivot brackets. And then we're gonna get the steering dialed in. So everything's all cleaned up. I'm tacking it up so that we can get the shocks on.
You want it just about in line with the front output on the drive shaft. And
So when the drive shaft's pivoting, the arms are pivoting the same, so nothing's binding up or bending different than the arms.
Exactly.
Just a quick rundown. I know y'all knew that already. I was just making sure that you knew that I knew.
Yeah, with this thing set up right, there's less than an inch of plunge throughout all 14 inches of travel on the front drive shaft, so it's dialed pretty good.
And the only reason it's getting 14 is because it's a straight axle and it's not like beamed or A-arms, so it only droops out as many inches as the coilovers are. So we're putting 14-inch coilovers on there, so it's going to get 14 inches of travel.
So this thing, so this is your panhard, right? Yes. It just goes just like that. Throw these guys on just like this. Yeah, so pretty much, so that spring perch right there, that's gonna be a reference. So the top of that should be the same angle as the top of this.
Okay, so just whack that little top
just a little bit off right there.
and it'll suck in a good amount.
Tack both those axle brackets on, and then tack the chassis link brackets on, and then run a tube. I always start with the lowers. You know, make sure they're both the same, and then that'll kind of put you front to back.
Do those brackets have the strap mounts?
No, so you'll need to weld a tab on for the limit strap. It depends on, you know,
Where we run them?
Yeah.
We've got the top ones already.
Yeah.
And where do you usually run those?
Yeah, just like right here.
Center of the coil.
Yeah, wherever.
Well, today's going pretty smooth. Jake helped us smash out a bunch of this. We got the frame plates on. We got the shock mounts where we like them. We got the steering box on. Got a couple other things all dialed in. It's just tacked right now, so we can see where we like it before we 360 weld it. Got the axle cleaned up back in there. We're gonna be cleaning up the brackets for the radius arm mounts and the bump pads and everything so that they can go on the axle, and we're just smashing through it. All right, check it out. You see how everything's got kind of a little bit of room around it, except for right here it's touching. So if we open it up a little bit right here and let it drop down to where it needs to go, then it'll fit a lot nicer. So 30 seconds of grinding will really make or break the difference in a quality build, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So would you say this on a scale from 1 to 10, how important is this little bit of fitment, these little 1/4 inches?
If 11 was a number, I would pick 11.
All right, so I think we're getting final fitment for the pivot brackets on the axle. Let's see. On the top, it's touching a tiny bit. Might take that down a little bit, just flatten it out so that everything sets nice, so we have a little bit of a gap so that we can weld it all up. So if you want to look, after we started, we made a mark at the top and we started fitting it down, and we brought it down maybe 1/4 of an inch over here to make everything fit, just fitting everything in. And that goes to show you that all bolt-on kits, all weld-on kits, you always got to do a little bit of fitment if you really want it to fit the best, so you can get the best adjustment and everything to line up perfect. So it says 0.9 of a degree up, it's almost 1 degree up, so we're probably going to bring it down, you know, 1 more degree. Right there, you see where the light's not coming through? That's where we need to clean up. 3.3. tenth of a degree off. I can live with that. Once we final weld it, we'll see what it's at. All right, so now we got to get the radius arms dialed in. So we're going to get the radius arm mounts onto the frame, get some sort of measurement so we can get the radius arm tubes dialed in, and from there we can start cycling. So we got the front of the mount 10 inches back from the body mount on both sides, and we're about to tack it up right now. So let's do this. Day ended really well. We ended up getting both sides fully cleaned up. We got the frame plates and overlays on both sides. We got the pan-hard bar on. We got the link on. We got both the pivot brackets on the axles on, the radius arms, and basically everything we need besides the shock mounts. We're gonna get back in here the next day, open these up to 3/4 inch, throw the steering on the rest of the way, throw the shock mounts on, and maybe cycle some bumps. Great day, and I'm super pumped on everything that happened. Hope you liked it as much as we did. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.